Capriole people. Here I am sitting out on the playground in the park. As you can see, it snowed this morning, but I still took my walk. I still went out. I got half a walk because I've got meetings to go, but I still got them done. And with that, my thought of the day is consistency. And it's an important word. It's really important. If you can latch on to the word consistency, you can do anything at all. But here's the thing, lots of people think that they're not good at being consistent. I can't be consistent. I've tried weight loss and I just can't be consistent. I go to the gym every new year and I'm not consistent. That's not true. The truth is you're great at being consistent, just not at those things. You're great at being consistent with going to work every day. You're great at being consistent with picking up your kids at school. You're great with your consistency to catch your favorite show or the news or checking in on Facebook. So everybody out there is great at consistency, and that's the first step to change. Honor that. Honor that consistency is every human's superpower. Why? Because all consistency is a routine or a built-up habit. The problem is most people unconsciously build the habit, and they build it and they get really good at it, and they move from that habit, and when they try to change the habit, they forget that they already have good consistency somewhere else, and they just try to throw something new in. The way to create new consistency is to first notice what you're already consistent at, and really get clear, because it's an unconscious pattern. And so here's the first thing to do. The playground is now open. We're at the playground, it snowed, it doesn't matter, it's open. So here's what we're gonna do for consistency. We're gonna look at what we already do all the time. Do you, every night make sure you catch the news or one segment of the news or find out what the weather is? You're consistent. And if you have a plan for a new year or a new routine and you want to start walking every day or something, or take up the gym and make it huge, first you've got to know what those other consistencies are. Do you take your kid to school every day? Some of these things are obligations that we have, but we're consistent. And then here's the fun part. The things that you're consistent about already, the things you already do as routine in your life, what are the thoughts you think when you go to do them? Because we always justify what we want to do, and we always justify those routines. So first is getting in the habit of, what are the thoughts you tell yourself so that you'll go do the thing you always do? So if it's watching the nightly news, start paying attention to the unconscious things you tell yourself so that you don't miss it. I want to keep up on what's going to happen. I like to know what the weather is so I can plan for my kids. It's really important to me that I know if I can go out tomorrow because it snowed and I don't like to drive in the snow. You're justifying the reason you have to do it consistently. I obviously don't practice that word consistently so that I say it well. Okay, so that's step one. That's the first step, is just the awareness of what you do. And then step two is what you think when you do it. Because there's always something, maybe something else comes up and you don't get to watch the nightly news, so you got to catch a different show, but you always catch it. And here are the three main things that people mistake for consistency. Perfection. Consistency is not perfection. If you miss a show, you go back and you catch it next week. You don't go, I missed the show, so it's over, I'm not consistent. You're like, no, I missed it, that was important to me, I'm gonna go do it. So perfection is not consistency. And then another one is that it's exactly the same every single time. That's not true either. I just gave an example. Sometimes you miss the news show you like, but you make sure you catch a different type of news show. Maybe you listen to it on the radio that day. Maybe you catch it somewhere else. Maybe you record it. It doesn't have to be the exact same routine every single time. Being flexible is what makes it consistent. So like today, did half my walk. I've got a meeting to go to. So I didn't do the full, and I wore tennis shoes in the snow. So I made sure I stayed on the path that had less snow on it. But I'm consistent because I love it. It makes my soul awaken whenever I'm out in this beautiful landscape, walking around, fresh air. It's kind of cool. I love it. So keep that in mind. Play with it. Play with it for the entire month. What are you consistent in? And honor it. Don't put judgment to it like, oh, I'm so lazy. All I do is sit and watch TV. No, you're brilliant at TV watching consistency. Then, every time you decide to go sit down and watch TV instead of doing other things that you thought you wanted to do, what are the thoughts? What are you thinking? Oh, I need a break. I worked so hard. I deserve this. Those are good thoughts. They're going to help you. Those are the patterns that you want to create so that you can get consistent at other things if you want to change it. So play with that. Acknowledge what your consistencies are. Maybe you'll notice some you're like, I don't want this anymore. Good start. Then you can start to change it. Then you can start to put all those thoughts in your head that you're thinking about that are important to you. I need the break. I want more rest. I deserve this. You can start putting those thoughts to something you really want and start becoming consistent at that. Anyway, I put a lot of stuff out there. Let me just summarize quickly. The things consistency isn't. Number one, perfection. Consistency doesn't have to happen every single time. It just has to happen most of the time. Number two, it's not exactly the same every time. Maybe you have to take your kids to school every day, but you don't have to take them on the same road every day. You don't have to have them in the same clothes every day. You don't have to leave the house at exactly the same minute every day. Although normally it happens. We get stuck in a routine. But it doesn't have to be. Be creative, be playful with it. And then, what you need to observe. So, first, start to notice what you're unconsciously consistent about. Do you drink coffee every morning? I get up, and the second thing I do, I wake up and I plan my day mentally for 5 minutes. So I hit the snooze, but I don't go back to sleep. Then I make coffee. Happens every single day without fail, once we have no coffee, and then I go get coffee. So it's consistent. I like it. I like to make coffee. So just start to notice what those are, non-judgmentally. Just start to pay attention. And then third, what are the thoughts that justify it for you? Get to know them. Get intimate with them. Don't judge them either, because they'll be useful for when you want to change and get other things consistent. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. I hope you have fun with it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great one.